5 reasons not to move to Magalia, California. Here's something most real estate videos will never tell you. Magalia, California might be the best move you'll ever make, or the one you regret the fastest. And the difference between those two outcomes comes down to 5 things that almost nobody talks about before they start looking. If you're considering a move here, this video is for you. Hey everyone, I'm Keith Fickert. Together with my wife Alisha, we are the Fickert Team, serving buyers and sellers across Chico and the Northern California area. To be clear, we love this area, which is exactly why I'm going to be straight with you today. This video is not going to be one of those job interviews where they ask what your biggest weaknesses are, and then you rattle off a bunch of strengths that you pretend are weaknesses. I'm going to be real with you in this video, and my goal is not to scare you away from moving to Magalia, it's to make sure you know what you're walking into so you can decide if it fits your lifestyle. Hit subscribe if honest local content helps you. Alright, so reason 1, far from everything or finally free from it. Let's start with the thing that surprises people more than anything else, how far Magalia actually is from daily life. Magalia sits up in the Butte County foothills, which is perched right above Paradise on the Ridge. It's truly scenic up there. It's got tall pine trees, fresh air, and a slower pace of life. But you are 20 to 25 miles away from Chico, which is where the hospital is, major grocery stores like Costco, restaurants, and where a lot of jobs are. According to the U.S. Census Bureau American Community Survey, Butte County residents are along some of the longest average commute times in Northern California foothill communities, and Magalia sits at the far end of that curve, so you're going to have more commute time than other areas around Butte County. So here's my honest take. If you're already commuting to Chico 5 days a week, that distance may start to grind on you over time. A quick errand can become a 45-minute round trip. Bad weather on Skyway, maybe in the wintertime, adds some stress you did not budget for. But if you work remotely, or if you're retired, or you've been dreaming about trading some noise for pine trees and open air, this distance is the point. The seclusion that frustrates one buyer might be the exact reason that another stays for decades. The question is to try to figure out which one you are. The next one I'm going to handle a little bit differently, and I'll explain why when we get there. Okay. Reason 2, this one I'm going to take personally, and I'm going to keep it simple. I want to handle it carefully because it deserves that. This ridge has a history that's deeply personal to a lot of people in the community, including people close to me as well as my family. I'm not going to narrate the past content. What I'm going to say is this: if you're moving to Magalia, the wildfire risk is a real part of living here, and you need to go in prepared, not just emotionally, but also financially and logistically. Magalia carries a very high fire risk severity zone designation from the California Department of Forestry and Fire Protection. That's a state classification and it has real consequences. According to the California Department of Insurance, wildfire coverage availability across Butte County has tightened significantly, with major carriers either reducing or potentially pulling back from high-risk zones entirely. Insurance costs can be steep up here, and for some buyers that can come as a genuine surprise. You gotta budget for it from the start. You gotta have an evacuation plan from day one. You need to take defensive space seriously because CAL FIRE requires it by law. Now, here's the other side. If you can approach that responsibility with clear eyes, what you can find in Magalia is a community of people that choose to be here, many of them more than once. And that kind of intentionality creates a depth of connection that is rare. For the right buyer, that's not just a footnote, it's the whole reason for moving here. Alright, reason 3, cheap on the surface, complex underneath. Let's talk price for a minute, because I know that's a big reason why many people are looking at Magalia in the first place. According to Redfin, the median home price in Magalia has been tracking well below the national average, with many single-family homes kind of in that $200,000 to maybe $280,000 range as of early 2026. By California standards, that's genuinely rare, and if you're coming here from a high-cost market, it can feel almost too good to be true. Okay, here's what I want you to factor in though. That entry price doesn't automatically include the insurance costs or the ongoing costs of maintaining defensible space around your property, which CAL FIRE can require annually. For some buyers, those numbers shift the math quite a bit. Buyer pools are also smaller here in Chico or Paradise, which is worth understanding if long-term price appreciation or reselling your home in the near future is part of your thinking. But for a cash buyer or a remote worker leaving a pricey metro, or someone thinking about retiring and just want some land and space at a price that would be almost impossible to find anywhere else in California, this affordability is the real opportunity. Go in with the full picture and it can absolutely work in your favor. Remember what I said at the top? That Magalia could be the best move you make or the one you regret the fastest? Everything we've covered so far is exactly why that's true. The distance can be freeing or frustrating depending on how you live. The fire risk can be a deal breaker for some, or if you fully accept it, can be part of the life that you love for others. And that price tag either opens a door or hides a bill you weren't ready for. None of those things are simple, and that's the whole point. You need to think about it and be clear going into it. 2 more to go, and these are the ones that sneak up on people because they're not just traumatic, they're practical. And practical surprises how people end up stuck. Before we get there, Alisha and I put together a free relocation guide covering the best neighborhoods, local school, and what life on the ground actually looks like here. Not the glossy version, the real one. The link is in the description below, and it's completely free. Grab it, and let's finish this video out. Reason 4. Off the grid, for better or for worse. This one's short, but depending on the lifestyle, it might be the most important thing I say today. Magalia is a mountain ridge community, and that infrastructure reflects that. Cell service is inconsistent, and it varies a lot depending on your carrier and your exact address. You could have a decent signal, or you could have almost none. Broadband internet, while it's improving, is still a genuine gap depending on where you're at in Magalia. According to the Federal Communication Commission's broadband coverage data, many rural Butte County zip codes have fewer high-speed internet options than suburban and urban areas in other California markets. For someone who is completely remote and dependent on a stable and fast internet connection for their livelihood, this needs to be figured out and verified before you make an offer, not after. You need to ask the sellers what they actually get for their internet speed, you need to ask what carriers they're using, and make sure that it fits your current needs. But for the buyer who wants to feel removed from the always-on world, this quieter infrastructure is part of the appeal. Just know what you are choosing before you get here. And the 5th reason, I think, is the most layered out of all of them. Reason number 5, town still writing its next chapter. Magalia is a community emotion. If you're coming from the outside the area, that's something you need to feel, not just read about before you decide. According to the Butte County Department of Development Services, rebuilding and restoration efforts across the ridge have made meaningful progress over the last 8 years. But the process is ongoing. Local services, shops, and community anchors are still coming back. The Magalia you move into today will not be the same one that's going to exist in the next 5 to 10 years, and that cuts both ways. For some buyers, the current state feels incomplete. If you're expecting a fully built-out small-town experience with restaurants and services, packed community, all sorts of community events on tap, it's not quite what you're going to find right now. That gap right now is real, and for some people it's a deal breaker. But for a buyer energized by being part of something that's still becoming and growing, Magalia carries a kind of meaning that finished, polished communities rarely can offer you. The people here chose it, and a lot of them choose it more than once, and that's a different kind of neighborhood. For the right person, it's exactly what they've been looking for. That's the full picture, and it's the same one we opened with at the top. Here's a quick wrap up. Magalia is not simply good or bad. It fits one kind of person really well, and misses another entirely. The distance from Chico is a peaceful seclusion, or it can be daily friction depending on how you work. The wildfire risk can be a deal breaker for some people, and it's part of life that people accept willingly for others. The price can be a trap if you ignore the full cost picture, such as insurance, or it can be a genuine opportunity if you've done the homework and you're comfortable with the numbers. The infrastructure gap is a deal breaker for the remote worker who needs broadband, or it could be part of the off-grid appeal, or maybe you can move to a part that does have high-speed internet right now. And the community is still finding its footing, is either incomplete or exactly the kind of place that's worth being part of, depending on how you feel. Where you land on those 5 factors is going to be your answer as to whether Magalia is the right spot for you. Alisha and I would love to help you figure out where to land in the Butte County area. Reach out to us directly. Our contact information is in the description. We'll have an honest conversation about what your life would actually look like in the Butte County area. Also, don't forget to grab our free relocation guide in the link below. If you want to see what areas near Chico might suit you better, check out our channel. See you in the next video.